Hello, hello. Welcome to the show. It's great to be back for the 9th episode of season 1. And we are back with part 2 of our tips and tricks for the Oogie Boogie Bash. And if that's not magical enough, we have a very, very special guest today. Our first ever special guest for our show, Nikki, aka Mornings with Mickey.
Yes, our good friend, Nikki. We are so excited to have her here. Nikki is incredible. She also shares a lot of tips and tricks of going to the parks with kids. And she also started her own travel agency. And she's going to be talking to us today about coming in for Oogie Boogie Bash and what she does as somebody who's not local to the parks. So she's going to give us her tips and tricks, her perspective of traveling in for that. So we're really excited to hear her tips and tricks for you guys as well. So we are so thrilled to be making this with each other and having Nikki on today. And we would love it if you subscribe to the show and followed us on all the socials. We are Magical Moms Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And if you want to watch the episodes, which I know today we're actually going to be showing some of the cute Halloween merch that just dropped. So if you want to see it and watch it, you can follow us at youtube.com/Disney content. And then if you want to follow us, I am Chasing Magic Daily on Instagram and all the socials.
And I'm California Disney Bliss, also on all the socials. So if you're loving what you're hearing, please rate and review. This is a really cool way for you to get a shout out on the show, and also helps us, spread the word and have more people discover the magic that we are creating with this show. And it's not only Apple where you can leave reviews. You can also now rate and review on Spotify too. And you can also DM us your reviews if you prefer. And speaking of, we have 2 new reviews to share.
Yes, we do. And actually, the first one is a 5-star Apple review, and it comes from Camp Stapes, and it's called The Best Disney Tips. They said, I have an annual pass and go to Disneyland a lot, but you guys already are giving such great advice to level any Disney trip up. Literally loving and looking forward to your podcasts. Cheers to a great start to my new favorite Disney podcast. 5 stars from a fellow Disney-loving mama. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Gosh.
That's really exciting. I love that.
So sweet. Oh, what nice words. Okay. And then we have another Apple review as well. 5 stars from Disney Lover. It says Disney Lover. 5-star reviews. Miss Linda 24. And it says, I love these 2 amazing ladies. They share the most amazing tips and tricks. And I love seeing them in the parks. Thank you for this wonderful podcast. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. And we love meeting people in the parks too. So if you ever see Lindsay or I in the parks, don't be shy. Come say hi to us. We just love meeting other Disney fans and other Disney moms.
Yes. And speaking of, we are forming a Magical Moms community. We have a Patreon family that we are building up here. It's been really exciting to have people on. We actually have the Patreon fam can be on live with us so they can interact with us while we're recording. We also have some really awesome tips and tricks sheets that we share inside the Patreon. So if you are listening to this and you're trying to write stuff down, don't worry. We have all this stuff for you guys in a little nifty sheet that you can have on your phone, bring to the park with you, pull it up whenever you need it. We're also doing some hangouts. We've done a virtual hangout already, which was super fun. I know we met some really awesome people through that. And actually, we have been talking, and with our producer too, we are going to do an in-park meetup pretty soon. So if you want to come and hang out, we're going to enjoy the parks together. Make sure you join that Patreon family. You can search it by going to patreon.com and searching Magical Moms Podcast, or we have the link for you down below in the show notes. And don't worry, you don't have to be a mom to join. You can be a magical dad, a magical aunt, magical uncle, whatever it is. But all are welcome in our community, and it's been really, really fun to see that grow.
Yes. And we love Disney adults. So come on, join us, join our little magical group. We're going to have so much fun.
Yes. And speaking of, we just had a nice little experience at the Chalk Walk where we got to meet some of the Patreon fam and some of the other listeners. And it was so, so cool. You want to start us off, Bridget? You can start talking. There's so much to say. It was so fun.
Okay. So Lindsay and I participated in the Chalk Walk, which is benefiting the Children's Hospital of Orange County here, which is located very, very close to Disneyland. Walt Disney actually was one of the main reasons why we have a children's hospitals in Orange County, because he felt that Disneyland was such a place for families and for children that he thought that it'd be a really, really good spot as well to have a children's hospital, which is, I mean, I am a Chalk family. So I don't know if many of you guys know my background, but our 3rd child, West, was born with a heart condition, and we had no idea, but that chalk was vital, absolutely vital to his recovery. We lived there for about 5 weeks. And actually from the chalk window where our baby was, I could see Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
You can see Disneyland from the rooms at chalk, especially if you're at the higher level. And so being a chalk family member is very, very important to me, and supporting this wonderful cause is super important as well. So Lindsay and I participated in the chalk walk. Lindsay's done it. How many years have you done it, Lindsay?
I've done it
6
every year
years?
since 2019. So I think 2020 was the only year they didn't have it, and they brought it back in 21. So yeah, so I guess 5 years now.
5 years. And I've been doing it since 22, I believe. So yeah, so it's just a really, really great cause. But the walk is awesome. So it starts before the park opens. It's a very, very early day.
Very.
I think I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, but it's worth it because you get to walk down Main Street before the park opens, before the sun rises. And it's so beautiful, like to see the lights. And this year they had this Disneyland 70th hot air balloon on Main Street. And I was so excited to see that because they brought it out for the cast members on the Disneyland 70th birthday, but no one else got to see it. But we did, and that was so exciting. And then they, of course, have Mickey and Minnie come out. They start off the show. The new Disneyland president spoke, and the ambassador for this year's Chalk Walk spoke as well. This is a girl who has been fighting cancer, which has been wonderful. It was wonderful to hear her speak and hear her story.
Shout out to Belle, because she is cancer free.
She's a warrior. She's a total warrior.
Her story
and
is
she has such amazing
sweet.
spirit. It's so awesome. And then you just walk together, and you get to walk all throughout Disneyland. And while you're walking around, there's characters, there's like interactions, there's live music. And then you cross over to DCA, and it's the same thing over there. And then you actually leave the park, and we ended the whole entire walk. I believe it took us like an hour, maybe?
Yeah, probably roughly.
45
because
minutes?
people stop and take pictures and
Yeah. It's not a race. Like you can just take your time. It's very, very casual. And then we ended in downtown Disney, right at the Disneyland, downtown Disney live stage where they had music and a DJ and bubbles. And it was so much fun. And then afterwards, Lindsay set up a really good brunch for us.
You helped.
Well, a little. And we went to Splitsville, and we got to meet a couple of people that joined us, not during the walk, but after for the brunch. And they also listened to this podcast. And it was so wonderful to meet with them and talk with them and also eat, because we were starving after being up since 2:30 in the morning. But it was so much fun. And so next year, actually, Lindsay and I were thinking that we're going to do a Magical Moms group where anyone who wants to join can walk with us if you'd like. And this is going to be information that we're going to share later on. We usually don't really get too much of the information until early next year, probably in the springtime. But stay tuned for that, because we'll have information if you want to join us.
Yeah, so we'll have a Magical Moms team. We can make signs. We can, do all the fun stuff and all walk together. And it's just a fun way to like hang out and meet up. And it's just for such a great cause. Actually being there is pretty emotional, because you will see a bunch of teams that are walking, either, representing somebody who has been there and, is walking with them, or, and sadly, children who may have passed, and didn't make it. And it gets very emotional. We had a friend there, and it was really sweet. I looked over at her, and she was just like getting all teary-eyed and crying. And she's like, I just didn't know how emotional this was going to be. And it really is. It's touching, and it's nice to know that you're there to support these children that need our help. So next year.
And I believe Disneyland has helped fundraise over $44 million for Chalk, which is so wonderful. And it really helps. And it's wonderful, like knowing that you made, you helped make a difference, because
they've been doing
join us
it
next year.
Yeah, they've been doing it. I think it's over 30 years now. I don't know the exact number, but it's over 30 years. I think between 30 and 35 years that they've been doing this. So 44 million going to this hospital to help children who need it. So really good cause. So we did that on Sunday, woke up bright and early for that. And then Monday, we woke up bright and early for a different reason.
Well, you did. I slept in accidentally.
Bridget overslept.
I overslept. Lindsay woke up really, really early
did,
for something,
yes.
and then I met her later.
Yeah, we went. So the next day on August 4th, we had a major Halloween merch drop at the parks. And I am not a rope dropper for merch. I've only done it one time, and that was for a Stony Clover line that opened in D-Lander in downtown Disney. And that was super fun. This was different. This was, there was a lot of madness, a lot of chaoticness, a lot of stuff that I was not really expecting. I knew the line was popular, especially this pink ghosty, which if you're watching, I'm wearing the headband. But I guess I didn't realize how popular because it was kind of a madhouse in the different shops that I went into.
Yes, to say the least. Okay, so Lindsay hasn't done this before, but I have been to the
You do it
first
every year.
drop day.
Yeah.
Yep, every single year I've done it for not only Halloween but also for like the holiday time, Christmas time drop. Usually, like a little birdie will tell me, you know, when we think it might be dropping, and I've made it every single first day for the last 4 years for both those holidays. I have never seen anything like this. I couldn't even park my car. I couldn't get into Mickey and Friends. The line was all the way down, like by the freeway. And I think the reason why is this was the first year ever that Disney announced that this was going to be dropped inside the parks and at World of Disney. They've never announced it before. And I don't know if they're going to do that again because it was wild. Like, I don't know, Lindsay, this might be a little bit too behind your days, but when the Cabbage Patch like dolls dropped, you know, I think that might be behind before you.
I remember them.
Time.
I remember them. But
yes. Okay. And like all like the people at Toys R Us, that's what it reminded me of for like the first 15 minutes I was in the store. But I will say the cast members, I mean, they really
bless their hearts.
Yes, they earned their paycheck that day. It was a lot for them, but they were doing such a good job at restocking.
Yes,
everybody was polite. Everybody was keeping their they're cool. I saw a lot of patients around, but they were restocking everything. So if you're not there, if you're not able to get there, they are restocking a lot of the things. I know that those ears sold out frequently through the day that Lindsay's wearing, but they were restocking them, and I'm sure that a lot of this is going to wind up also online.
Yes,
so you'll be able to, you know, get it. But like, for example, like these things were super popular. These are like the little plush toppers that you can put on that make your own headband, or if you have the hat. Or you know what I saw? People were wearing this on their shoes.
Yes.
They wear it on their
seen
shoes.
That too.
It's so cute. Yeah, or like on their like bags and like their purses and stuff. I really, really love this. So this was cute.
Yeah, they're pretty versatile.
I got the bag. I got this like Mickey vampire bag.
Oh, I didn't realize you got, oh no, maybe I did know you got that one. Yeah.
It's so big. I know it's so big, but trust me, you will use it if you're in the parks. Like, this is actually how much I bring on a regular family park day. So I got some of those things, and you know, so on and so forth. But they're going to have more stuff. They're going to be doing more drops. But it was definitely wild. At one point, Lindsay and I are like looking around, and we're like, whoa, this was a lot. People are really excited about Halloween.
Yeah. I will say, I think the most popular, at least that from what I saw, was the pink ghost line, which I got. This was really popular too. There was a line for this sweatshirt. You had to get in a line to be able to grab it. They weren't letting anyone take it off the rack. And then I also got the matching tote, which was really cute. So this line was going super fast, both in Five and Dime, where I got my stuff, and World of Disney. So I filmed like kind of the chaos going into World of Disney, and it seemed like everybody just surrounded the pink ghost case, and that stuff was just like flying off the shelf. The other line that was really cute that I got a few pieces from too, that this, oh my gosh, this was flying off every time they restocked. The Winnie the Pooh Happy Honeyween. The cute little bag.
And it's like corduroy in person. It's like a corduroy, like
it's like a really nice
feeling.
Quality.
Yeah.
And then the matching, well, from the same line, the Winnie the Pooh shirt, and then Tigger on the back. Oh my gosh, look how cute that is. So I have little Winnie the Pooh ears, so I'm probably going to wear that on some park day.
Yeah. I mean, they really did a fabulous job with this line. And it kind of makes me nervous for what they're going to put out for the holiday season. Because if it's anything like this, I need another job.
Yes.
I'm going to need to find more work, because I was like floored at how amazing this line was. And I really think that they're going to do that with the holiday season too.
I have my fingers crossed for a pink Christmas line. That is my hope.
That would be so cute.
Pink Christmas.
That would be adorable.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, their their Christmas stuff is already made, right? That was made like a year or two ago. But I'm hoping they anticipated that the pink Halloween would be popular and made the pink Christmas too. So,
that would be
see.
absolutely so sweet. Well,
yes.
Yeah, just Disney take all my money. I mean,
yeah, really.
It's I don't know. But it was such a fun morning.
It was.
And
it was really fun.
And it did die down after like the big rush, it wasn't too crazy. And then I walked in like the other part of World of Disney, which is a huge store, by the way. And there was nobody else anywhere else in that store. It was just focused on the Halloween merch. So don't let the crowd, get you nervous. If you see it, just go. And I bet you there'll be lots of stuff restocked too. So
I've had a few followers tell me, like, even as of this morning, that they went and grabbed something that they had at D-Land or wherever. So I think they're doing a good job of having stock and restocking stuff as the day goes on. So.
And as we were on our walk, Lindsay, and if you go to the parks or if you go to the Esplanade in front of the parks, you'll see a lot of Halloween is popping up also. And also Oogie Boogie stuff was popping up as well, which we're going to talk about later. Oogie
Boogie himself is there now.
Yes. Oogie Boogie's already on the top of the entrance to Disney California Adventure. And as we were walking, you and I noticed that they have some of the areas where they're going to be doing the treat trails already set up, which is really unusual. Usually that's not set up until like a day or two before. So that was pretty cool to see. They are ready to go for Oogie Boogie Bash. They're ready to go for Halloween. It's going to be amazing. And I cannot believe we're going to our first Oogie Boogie Bash of the season in 11 days.
Yeah, I know. My mind hasn't quite wrapped around that yet.
Yes. And our special guest is also going to be going to Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yes.
So we're going to talk to her about this because she has a very, very different idea, and she's going to bring some different ideas and tips and tricks to our day today. So should we welcome her in?
Welcome on, Nikki. We are so excited to have you. We missed you.
We really miss you.
I wish you were with us for the chalk walk and all those things.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy to be here, and any opportunity to hang out with you girls is an opportunity I take up. So I'm thrilled to be here and talk about all things Oogie Boogie.
Yes.
Nikki and I, Nikki and I, you and I met in 2019. We were which is funny because we met at like a kind of like a girls' night, which, some of those girls we're still friends with, some we don't really talk to anymore, which is totally fine. People go their separate ways. But it's funny because that's where we met. We just randomly met up and
we instantly connected.
We did.
It really was instant. We each went home with, I got Olaf's, or you got Olaf's slippers, I got Sven slippers, and we each switched, and I ended up with one Olaf, one Sven, and to this day, those slippers are like, this is the beginning of my friendship with Lindsay, so.
Very special.
It was.
And then even from there, like we planned park dates like right after that. Like I would come hang out with you, and when Charlie was like a baby and you were pushing him around in a stroller.
And you were pregnant with Torsten. And, we've been through a lot together over the years. Our kids were raised together and they went to school together. So Lindsay and I have a history, and we met Bridget in 2021 on opening day of Avengers Campus, and now we enjoy doing so many wonderful park days together, a lot of opening days, and we've made a lot of really wonderful memories. So.
Yes, such wonderful
and you'll
memories.
Actually be in for opening day of Halloween, so we'll get to all be together then.
Yay. Yes.
And Nikki used to be a local, now she moved out of state, but what's really funny is that she's sometimes at the parks more than we are. Like, you are here all the time, Nikki. Your kids have been to the parks more in the last 6 months than mine have, and we're very close. So even though you live out of state, you are here all the time, and we're so lucky that we get to see you as much as we do. So thank you for being on this episode as well, because you have so much information to share. But okay, we know you so well, but let's get the audience to know you even better. So I'm going to throw out some questions for you and just answer them as you go along. Okay. So how long have you been a Disney fan?
Oh, my whole life. But I really think that my true fandom began at my first ever professional job, which I was a singer in Tokyo Disney. And really, that was when the magic sparked for me. And you'd think that maybe working behind the scenes, it might spoil some of the magic, but
Yeah.
it worked on the contrary for me. I left seeing the joy on people's faces, the magic that I was able to create, and it really installed a love for Disney parks for me. And that was 20 something years ago. So the love has stayed strong ever since
Oh,
then.
I
Okay,
love
Nikki,
that.
I'm gonna put the pressure on for just a second. Can
Okay.
we hear a few lines from what you used to sing? Can we treat the audience?
Oh.
Because Nikki is a former Broadway star, and if you haven't heard her sing, she has actually brought me to tears. She sang.
Oh, you're so sweet.
No, you have. You sang Silent Night at our children's preschool, and I was bawling. It was so emotional. And your voice is just stunning. So could you treat the audience? I don't know if the audience has ever really heard you sing.
I don't sing a ton anymore. But that is such a huge part of my life. I got to be honest, a lot of my stuff was in Japanese.
Oh,
Yeah. So I will say, Sore na mina imamade dori koko de hataraki nasai, which I think means everybody, it's time for dinner.
okay. Because you were one of Jesse's
So
cowgirls.
I played, and you'll see her on the side of the Golden Horseshoe at Disneyland. But I played the character Slewfoot Sue, and I had a lunch show that was with Woody and Jesse, and then I had a dinner show that was with Mickey and Goofy. So it was a lot of like Western songs. I actually hear them sometimes on Jesse's Critter Carousel, like yodeling, yodeling, hee. That one
There we go.
is
So we kind of got it.
I had to yodel.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go back in my Rolodex. But I did do some special events with Tokyo, which is really exciting. I got to sing The Little Mermaid. I got to sing some songs from Oliver and Company. So, I had a few really cool experiences there.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Sorry to put
love
the
it.
pressure on, but I just think
I know,
the
I was like,
audience would
was
be.
that enough, or do we need me to pull out part of your world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
Please.
a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Well, that does answer the question of my favorite Disney movie and favorite Disney character.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Something Lindsay and I share.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, go.
Wait, you really do want?
No,
Yes,
I
you
really do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little.
What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand? That on land, they understand that they don't represent their daughters. Pregnant women, sick of women, ready to stand.
Oh, I am actually teary-eyed. I told you it. Oh,
Now
to
you
have a
are
good
a
friend that is
performer.
so talented is just incredible.
See, you are a
Oh my
performer. We put you on the spot and you delivered.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Mary-
I was
Nikki.
Mary
I
and
was
the-
put on the spot, and not sure anyone else could get me to do that, but these two girls.
Mary and the Patreon fans said, "Is that you, Ariel?"
Yes, it is.
Jody Benson, are you
Oh my gosh.
listening?
I know.
Life goal, hugging Jodie Benson and like what she means
Yeah.
to me. I love that. I love that mermaid.
Oh my
that
gosh,
is so
Nikki, that was
beautiful.
so freaking awesome. You are so talented. You really, really
Yes.
are. You are so
Yes.
talented. Okay, but I have a question for you. How did you take that talent and then switch it to starting a Disney page, like a Disney content page? What was that like? What was that progression like?
Yeah, well, my background is in Broadway. I did some shows when we moved to California at the Hollywood Bowl. But truthfully, having children is not very conducive to theater life.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be the type of mom that was present and there for my kids.
Yeah.
So, I love storytelling. And I think that's one of the magical things about Disneyland is, it's storytelling come to life. And there was something about taking my kids from the minute my son was born, I mean, a couple of weeks after, and taking my kids, watching the magic through their eyes, and like allowing storytelling and the magic of Disneyland to be an integral part of our lives. And I was sharing it a lot on my personal page, and I would constantly get questions about tips and tricks. And I remember having a note in my phone that I would just copy and paste and send to people, and it started feeling a little overwhelming. And I was like, I'm going to start a place where I can just dump all this the way I see the park with my kids. And this was 2018, so it's been a second. And I started the page and I chose the name Mornings with Mickey because my son did not sleep. So I was up very early at the park. I mean, we're talking waiting in line for Mickey and Friends to open.
Oh,
And by the time the crowds rolled in, we'd already hugged Mickey, spent some time in Toontown, and we were rolling out at about 10:30 to have a nap. So the mornings were a really special time for me and my
mm,
kids. And clearly it's evolved. My oldest is now turning 9 this year. So the
mm,
park days look a little different for us, especially with us now living out of state and traveling in. But
mhm.
while they look different, they still have a lot of magic. It's just from a unique perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that story. I
Oh
just
my
love it.
gosh.
And now you have 3 kids, and your youngest
I
is
do.
is 3. Now, will this
Yes.
be her first Oogie Boogie Bash, or will this be her
Oh, no.
her second,
I think
right?
it's
I
her,
think
Third,
she's
third
gone
her
or
third, her
third.
third, her
fourth.
third. Yeah, her
She
third.
was Ariel for our
Yeah.
first. Yeah, her
Yes, yes,
third.
yes, yeah. Back in
And
22.
then yes, yeah, 22, because she was born in 22. And then, so yeah, we've gone to Oogie Boogie every year. It's a bit of a family tradition for us. This will be our second year flying into Oogie Boogie.
Okay.
We like to fly into Santa Ana. It's a really close airport to
Hmm.
Disneyland. We typically take an Uber and stay at a nearby hotel,
Hmm.
typically a good neighbor hotel. We love the Courtyard Anaheim theme park entrance. We love a lot of the Marriotts in the area. Spring Hill Suites is a great one
Yeah.
with some Mickey waffles. So
Mm.
yeah, we typically fly in, stay there, and spend a week. This time it'll be our fall break. So we're really
Oh,
excited about that.
Oh,
oh,
awesome.
that'd be
Oh, so you have a
perfect.
fall break pretty early then.
Hmm.
Yes, I think it's October
Yeah.
13th
Wow.
is the week that starts.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Cool.
Well, that'll be awesome. And I know that your kids did a little bit of fundraising for this one. What was
Yes.
what was that like?
Yes. I mean, earlier when you were talking about how much I come to the parks, I was like, I really hope my husband doesn't listen to this podcast episode because he does sometimes
Thanks.
question the amount that I am flying to Anaheim.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
this year we had, talked about budgeting and holidays and when we're flying in. And, we kind of decided maybe this isn't the year to take the family to Oogie Boogie. We pay
Hmm.
for annual passes, and Oogie Boogie is an additional fee. And my
Yeah.
kids would not have it. They were like, we will earn the money and we will earn the money for the not just our ticket, but they are earning the money for the tickets for our entire family. So we still have about $120 to go, but they've
Oh,
been
that's
working
amazing.
really, really hard.
Aw.
And I think it's just a testament of like how much this event means to them
Hmm.
that they were like, we will do whatever it takes to make sure we can go as a family. So
Oh, I
I
love
love that.
that.
It's so sweet.
And it's going to be even more like
Yeah.
meaningful because they worked so hard to get there,
absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
Oogie Boogie Bash is very pricey. And that's kind of like, one of the reasons why like Lindsay and I were so focused on this episode and the episode prior to this one, just because, these tips and tricks really, really do help and will help your day because the party, starts and it ends before you even know it. So,
So fast.
so let's get into some of those tips that you have for everyone
Okay.
traveling into, Anaheim for this, special event. What would you say are your top tips?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like you
Hmm.
said, when people are traveling in, especially, it makes it even the stakes are a little higher. You
Hmm.
want it to be even more
Yeah.
special. And so preparation goes a long way. So I think packing is something that a lot of our parents will ask us is what do I pack?
Mm.
Clearly there's costumes, but what else can you pack in order to make this event as seamless as possible? So I have a few ideas for you.
Mm.
My first idea is pajamas. And I love buying new themed or matching pajamas or
Mm.
costume like pajamas for the Oogie Boogie Bash.
Oh.
And costumes are great. It's so exciting, but you'll see very quickly that kids are wanting to shed layers, get
Yes.
comfortable. They're running through treat trails. So we'll typically find that when the sun starts setting, our kids are ready to just get cozy.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, some of my favorite memories are watching the kids run around in their PJs collecting candy. It's like ultimate peak core memory for
Yeah.
me. So I'll always pack, special pajamas that we can change into.
Okay.
And with that, that as you're walking back to your hotel at the end of the night, the kids are exhausted. They're coming down from a sugar crash. they're very likely going to fall asleep and you don't want to worry about changing the pajamas later. So changing that in the park eliminates one extra mom step for you.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I love to pack and make it specifically special for Oogie Boogie. Another idea that I have is I feel like when you're at some of these special events, the kids, like they feel the difference. They're not just there at Disney at nighttime. They're like after hours. People who don't have wristbands are escorted out. They're there at this special limited crowd time in DCA, and they feel it. So I feel like there's some things you can do that make it a little extra magical. So I love packing like glow kits for the kids where they can bring like glow bracelets or glow wands or bubble wands that kind of light up at night. Or I love decorating strollers. I once decked out my stroller in those battery lights, like glitter lights, and I wrapped them all the way around my stroller. And not only did it make it easy to find my stroller at night, but it just like felt like a little bit of extra pixie dust on my stroller.
Yeah.
So I think like little glow kits, things like that would be really help make it extra special for the kids. And another thing that I always pack, and this is honestly whether I'm a local or I am flying in, is we always bring our own treat bags. You guys know the treat bags that Disney provides
so small
are not big enough for the amount of candy that you will receive. And I'd like to emphasize the amount of candy that's coming your way at the Oogie Boogie Bash is astronomical. So, those kind of like reusable grocery sacks almost that you can fold up and store like really neatly in your suitcase. Those are awesome for kids. And then at the end of the night or the end, you also have to remember you're not just going back to your house. Our guests that are flying in from out of town are going home with all this candy, whether it's on an airplane or in a car. So I typically, I'm sure you guys have heard of this switch witch. So sometimes I will eliminate from my kids' candies things that have like food dye that I don't love or that are hard on their teeth. And they can like buy like a churro or something that I would prefer them to have. And I'll just kind of get rid of that candy. I'll bring Ziploc bags and they'll each have their own candies on the way home. I also recommend not packing them in your suitcase because chocolate can melt. So, in a carry-on is a great thing. And sometimes we'll use them as currency. So they can use the little pieces of candy to buy screen time or maybe you do a 31-day countdown in a bowl where each kid gets one day counting down to Halloween. So there's different ways to use that astronomical amount of candy that you receive and be prepared for how much. I mean, truthfully, I don't even think we eat most of it, but
we end up handing some of it out.
As Halloween candy.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a lot of candy, a ton of candy, but it's just such a fun night. Now, do you guys have a costume yet?
Oh my goodness, no. I probably should start thinking about it.
You got a little time.
Were earlier on in the year, they were really excited about Star Wars.
Okay.
But that's kind of faded a little, so we'll see. It'll probably be very kid driven. It is the one time that we do a family costume on Halloween. They get to choose their own costumes, and my kids always have very unique ideas. I'm always making something out of a cardboard box.
You are.
I know. The Big Ben year where I had to make my child Big Ben. That was
that's the
that
best.
was special. I think I got destroyed on TikTok over it, but that was all Teddy. That was all him. So this is the time where we get to be like a family costume, and then later for Halloween will be whatever they want to be. Same.
Oh my gosh, well, I can't
Nikki,
wait.
do you typically, so you said you typically fly into John Wayne because that is like the closest airport, and then you said you Uber to the hotel?
Yes, I typically there are not a ton of great options for transport from Santa Ana to Disneyland. There are some car services that we use, but primarily Uber and Lyft are the best ways to go. And it's only about a 20-minute drive, give or take, depending on traffic. But it's always really, really simple. I'd say it's about $35 on average to give you a perspective. And there's lots of good neighbor hotels that can fit within your budget if that's what you're looking for. So we love staying right next to Disneyland, walking in, feeling like we're in the magic and we're a part of it. I don't typically leave the Disneyland area while we're there visiting.
That was one thing I was going to say is, so you typically get a hotel where it's like a quick walking distance to and back, because you're also walking back late at night. You always have Trent with you, but for other people that
a
may
lot
not
of times,
have.
but sometimes not. Yeah, for fall break, I'll be there. I probably shouldn't say. Like, there's a good part of fall break where I'll be by myself. So, and same with spring break. So, sometimes I have them and sometimes I don't. And yes, safety is very important. I think Harbor is very well lit. And there's a few hotels there that are really awesome, that are super close. And I really do feel very safe walking back on that side.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Good. Oh my gosh. Now you know so much about this because not only did you used to be a Broadway star and then you went to becoming a Disney content creator, but then you flipped the script and you became an actual Disney travel agent. So tell us a little bit more about that too.
Yes. So, like I said, I've been doing this for almost 7 years now, and I love it. I really do find a lot of fulfillment in helping families have a magical time at Disneyland, having it be manageable, memorable, and stress free.
Yeah.
And I also found that there was a limited amount that I could help in the capacity that I was. I was spending time in DMs, and I never felt like I was like truly helping these families. And one day the light bulb went off. It's like, I can offer hands-on travel support and it's complimentary if they book through me. And that's where Magic Mornings was born. So we just celebrated 2 years of being opened our doors, and thank you so much. And it's been such a rewarding and fulfilling experience. We have almost 70 travel advisors that book travel for all Disney destinations and beyond. And it's been, I did flip the script a little bit, but I think it's been a really rewarding experience to channel my knowledge and passion for Disney destinations into hands-on support. I mean, I get to be a part of these families' vacations. We see photos, we get feedback afterward, and it really is like so special. We get to do some pretty cool things. I'm a part of a charity trip right now where another family is sending a family that needed a little magic to Disneyland, and I get to be that like fairy godmother, and it really is very fulfilling. And I think we've created a really cool community of just really wonderful people. So they're great. I love my agents.
Have you helped this year with families going to Oogie Boogie? Have you done like those
Absolutely.
specific trips? You have. Awesome.
Yes.
So will
yes.
you
We have
like
a lot of families going to Oogie Boogie.
I was gonna say, do you help them with like if they want like the dessert package or something? Like, do you guys do that?
Yes. Yeah. One of the perks of using our company for your travel advisor needs is that we do book all your dining. We make sure your tickets are properly linked. We get your reservations at Disneyland, and we make sure all of that is good to go so you don't have to worry.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you have any other like outstanding tips for us that you could share for traveling for Oogie Boogie?
Yes. Well, I think if you're traveling for Oogie Boogie, a lot of times this is like a once in a lifetime experience. So you're really going to want to maximize your time. There is an overlap period from 3 to 6. And I also recommend to a lot of our families to not go to the park that day. Or if you do, to make it a brief morning with a break in between and really make Oogie Boogie the star of the show. Rest up, spend some time at the pool, and get into the park between 3 and 4. I also recommend eating sometime around 5, a full meal, because once the party starts at 6, you are not going to want to stop to eat. So eat in advance, and be prepared for the party to start right at 6. Maybe get those photos. I love getting photos on Pixar Pier when the sun is starting to set. You kind of that twilight hour family photos in advance. So when it's party time, you're ready to go. I think one of the big things to prioritize is the parade. The first parade is always a little more busy than the second parade. But I do find if you have young kids, the second parade is when they start to fade. So I think prioritizing the parade is a really big one for me. And also doing your research in advance. I'm sure these ladies have all sorts of tips for you about that, but doing your research in advance with what villains are a priority for your kids. Like last year, my kids love Phineas and Ferb, and we knew that Doofenshmirtz was a big priority for us. It's just, I have two boys, and they love the whole, Phineas and Ferb summer
Yeah.
adventures,
Yeah.
and we had to see Doofenshmirtz. So we made sure that happened earlier on in the evening and planned accordingly for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Nikki, I was going to say you kind of like covered some of our local tips, which is great. So I kind of feel like maybe you should just stay and hang with us as we share our tips, because I feel like you have some good, you could just like chime in and help us out too, because like a lot of what you said is, kind of what we were going to touch on too, just as locals. So if you want to hang, do you want to hang and do like the local
twist my
tips?
arm if I have to.
Do you want to hang out with us?
Stay and hang. Of course.
Okay, well, let's get into it then. Let's get into part 2.
Part 2 of our tips and tricks for Oogie Boogie Bash, which, like I said, Nikki kind of touched on. The first thing we were going to say is it opens at 3. So the party officially starts at 6, but you can enter starting at 3. And I do love your tip, Nikki, of like, sure, go to the park before, but definitely have like a break. You don't want to be doing, rope drop to 3 and then switch over to DCA. That's too long of a night, especially with little kids. Don't recommend that. But if you're just doing Oogie Boogie, you can get in starting at 3 and exactly what we're going to say. Go in, have a meal, make sure you eat beforehand. You might get a little hungry later in the night, but you can always get a snack. Get those pictures in, because if you want those cute, fun pictures of your whole family dressed up, that's when you need to do it. You don't want to be trying to do that at 6 once the party is started.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're driving in for this, or if you're a local, just know that the parking structure is going to be pretty busy around like that 2 o'clock, 2:30 time to at least like 5 p.m. Just because so many people are coming in for the event. And also the security lines will be a little bit longer as well. So just keep that in mind for your timing, because it does get a little bit crazy, but it does die down. Now, if you're a magic key holder, or if you're coming in just for like the Disneyland day, you can go into the parks, before the 3 p.m., mix-in starts. And there is another with a reservation. There's another place where you can check in for the event. So if you're just going in at 3 p.m. when the mix-in starts, you're going to walk into a separate line, and you'll be able to see where that line is at the entrance of DCA. And then they will automatically enter you into the party with a wristband and your little bag and like a little map of the event. But if you're already inside Disney California Adventure, there's going to be a separate check-in entrance. Usually it's around like where the entrance to Cars Land is, right, Linz?
Yeah, like
or where was the other one? Like the Wine Trattoria area. Yeah, so it's right around there usually. Yeah, and so either way, if you want to be able to get into the park just a little bit earlier, you can check in there as well. But definitely check in early. Look at the map, see what you really want to focus on, pick those top 3 characters, top 3 photo ops that you want to focus on, and do that early. The earlier you do it, the better, because the treat trails move very, very quickly. Even if you see a really, really long line, get in it. They move very, very fast. So
it's a constant,
So and you can go in the tree trails more than once. You don't have to do just one. So sometimes we go in one and we just want to see the character again and we go back in. But they do move very fast. So I would focus on characters and photo ops first, and then the tree trails after.
Yeah. And actually a question that I don't often get it, but there are people that don't know, are the rides open during the party? And the answer is yes. The rides are, and I'm pretty sure it's every single ride. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's every single ride is open. I don't think I've ever seen any of that, because I know sometimes after dark events at Disneyland, there's a couple that shut down. Yes. But over at DCA for Oogie Boogie, typically everything is open. And I know one special thing that transforms, which this is just kind of for the Halloween season in general, but what is it called? Guardians of the Galaxy changes to Monsters After Dark. Is that? Yeah. I've personally never ridden it because I will not go on that ride. But but I know that's something. So that switches. I think it's at 2 or 3. So a lot of people who are going for Oogie Boogie will try and ride that ride between 3 and 6, so that they kind of have that advantage of like doing that cool ride that switches over at that time. and then riding that, before the party starts. But yes, rides are open. So if you want to do some rides, it's a great time to do it. I personally have done rides with my kids during that time. My husband loves to do rides at that time because the lines are nothing.
So
they are open. Yeah.
So short.
So short. I think my husband and the kids went on the Incredicoaster 4 times last year. And with all that candy, like the only thing I was thinking about was being like, I was worried like the entire time, like someone's going to get sick, someone's going to get sick, someone's going to get sick. But they rode it 4 times in a row and then ate candy afterwards. I don't know how their stomachs did it, but they did it. But yeah, the lines are super short just because there's so much to see at the Oogie Boogie Bash. A lot of people don't go on the rides. So if that's something that you want to like add in, go for it because the lines are very, very, very short. So one thing that's also, yes, Lindsay, what were you going to say?
No. I was just going to, you go ahead. You go.
Yeah. So another thing is that Cars Land for Halloween, Disney, Halloween transforms completely for everybody, but also for the Oogie Boogie Bash. If this is your only time that you're going to be at Disney California Adventure, definitely check out Cars Land because it does. That land completely transforms. All the attractions besides Radiator Springs transforms as well. And Radiator Springs turns into Radiator Scream. But the ride itself, the Radiator Springs Racers, that doesn't transform, but all the other rides do. So it's really, really cool to see Cars Land and be like immersed in that area because also the cars, Lightning McQueen and Mater, they also are in costume too. And that's super cute.
Costumes, they call them.
Yes, costumes.
Cars and costumes.
But yeah, so getting back to the tips, one of the things that I always do is there are going to be special Oogie Boogie Bash treats that are just going to be for the event. It's, there's a lot of treats that are coming our way into Disney and Disneyland and Disney California Adventure that is just for Halloween, but there's going to be special Oogie Boogie Bash treats. Now, you can mobile order those early in the day, and I definitely suggest that you do if that's something that you're interested in. I mobile order my Oogie Boogie Bash treats. Usually I start looking around 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. You don't have to do this, by the way. It's just something that I do. But you can you can order your treats before the event even starts. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can do that. But there should be some special treats, at least 3 or 4, different menu items. And we'll be sharing that as it gets a little bit closer. But definitely you can order those early in the day.
Yeah. And then if you wanted to like start getting into the Halloween spirit before the party even starts, again, in Cars Land, you can, the other 2 rides that transform are Luigi's. So that becomes Luigi's Honkin' Halloween, Halloween, and then Mater's Jamboree. So those are 2 that you can kind of, especially with little kids, you can go on and kind of get in that Halloween spirit. They have Halloween music that plays, and it's just kind of a fun little way to kick off your night with some Halloween fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we should talk about these photo ops and the character meet and greets. Those typically have the longest lines. And it's just, it's one of those things where people are really excited to see not only different characters, but their favorite characters sometimes in costume as well. So that's something that, like we said earlier, focus on that first. And then I would focus on the tree trails afterwards, just because that's going to be like the longest lines that you're going to see probably for the entire evening.
Yes,
to take photos.
Yeah. Now
we all remember Bruno,
yes.
That was a very long line.
That was a very, very long line. Yes. And then you get to check that off your list. Another thing that's always on people's list to see, which sometimes can have a little bit of a line, is Villains Grove. So that is a definitely must for me and our family. Whenever we go to Oogie Boogie Bash, Villains Grove, that's Redwood Creek Challenge Trail transforms into Villains Grove. That is such an experience that is not to be missed. The lines will be long, but in the last 2 years, Lindsay and Nikki, let me know if you feel the same. It has moved very, very quickly, these lines.
It has.
Very quickly, yes.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's been nearly what it was the years before. Much more accessible.
Yes, and it moves very fast. But something to know, if you have a child in a stroller, you do have to park the stroller.
Yes,
correct. Yeah, no strollers allowed in Villains Grove.
Yeah, so if your kids are going to fall asleep, like mine do sometimes at Oogie Boogie Bash when it gets a little bit later, definitely try to tackle that early in the day because you're not going to be able to bring them while they're sleeping through Villains Grove. But it is definitely something you should see. It's so exciting. I just love it every single year. It's my favorite thing to do there.
And if you do choose to go during the first parade, like if you're going to watch the later parade, you can go during the first parade, and that line is even shorter. So it is deceivingly long, but it does move. But if you do choose to go, you want a shorter line during the parade is a good time, that first parade. Yeah. Or the second one if your kids are awake.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the parade, the Oogie Boogie Bash, one of my favorite things to do, period, is that parade. That parade is so special. It is the only time that you can see it. And it's, I don't know, I just absolutely love it. The music, everything about it is amazing. So that's going to run twice, 2 times during your Oogie Boogie Bash night. And unlike the other parades that are happen at Disneyland or even Disney California Adventure, you don't really have to wait too long for this parade because it is such a long parade route at Disney California Adventure, and it does, perform twice in the night, that it's not something that you have to wait like an hour and a half before. We love to sit right in front of Little Mermaid, right in front of the Little Mermaid attraction. We sit across from there or close to the Zephyr, and we usually get our spot like 20 to 30 minutes before the parade starts. And I use that as a time for my kids to like decompress. We wait for the parade. I have a parade blanket that I put down, and that's when they love to go through their candy. I usually try to I try to like force feed them like the apples and like something a little bit healthy. Yes. That's when they drink their water. And that's like just like a little moment for them to come down before the parade starts. So, but yeah, I just love that parade, and it's easy to wait for.
Oh, great.
So don't miss that for sure.
Yeah. And one thing I do want to comment on, so if you don't know, I have a son with food allergies. He is allergic to peanuts, tree nuts, and eggs. And one of the things that I learned is that they actually have special treats, because the treats that they have, I believe they're sponsored by Mars Candy Bar. So a lot of them are Snickers and like things with peanuts in them. So depending on the level of the severity of your child's allergy, they may or may not be able to eat the candy out of the ones that are like kind of in there with all the Snickers and stuff. But they do have food allergy friendly treats located underneath those big. So they have like the big baskets or whatever of candy, and underneath them there's like a cauldron of like allergy friendly candy for kids. So a lot of it is the brand Yum Earth. So they have a lot of Yum Earth stuff. They have like lollipops. They have a little variety for kids that can't have the candy that's in with all the nuts. So if you do have a food allergy kid, or you yourself have a food allergy, just know they do accommodate and they do have those things. You just have to ask for it. So ask them, can I have the allergy friendly candy? And they'll grab it for you underneath.
That's so good to know.
And I love that candy. Even just a lot of them are dye free. Yes. And that's something that is important to me as a mom. So I do like to grab some of those when I can, because I feel like it helps balance. And as well as you mentioned apples, there's not just treats. You also get carrots and apples, grapes. There's a few healthy things mixed in there.
Yeah. Yes, my kids love the goldfish, the graham cracker goldfish.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I love them.
Yes, I've had to buy them off of Amazon in bulk after, because they're always like, can we have more? So I get them like off of Amazon afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about your kids, but mine absolutely refuse to eat anything healthy during the Oogie Boogie Bash night. They know that it's like their free zone night, And I'm like kind of like a yes mom that night. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Do whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. And I have tried with the apples. I've tried with the carrots. And now I just tell the cast members not to even give it to us, because it's not going to happen.
Just don't even bother.
I don't want to waste them. I'm like, I really don't, like, because like there'll be sections, so like the first part of the treat trail, there'll be candy. And then like the second part, there'll be like the goldfish. And the third part will be like the healthy stuff. And we just walk on by because there's no point. There's no point. I've tried.
I usually pack it in their school lunches. That's what I save it for.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Pack it in school lunches. But
yeah.
Or you can just, deny it.
We just deny
that option too.
Save it for the people who are more successful with that, because it's not me. It's not me for sure.
Yes.
But
one of the other things too that's included with your ticket to Oogie Boogie is Photo Pass.
Yes.
So that's not something that's always offered in the parks. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is Inspire Pass the only one that has free Photo Pass? Or is it all Magic Use?
It's Inspire and... No, it's just Inspire.
Right. It's
Inspire, and then Believe can get it for like 50% off.
Okay, got it. So, Mary said she has Believe. So Mary, let us know, Photo Pass for you, is that 50% off, or is it free? Because I can't remember.
Oh, it is free.
Okay, she said.
Okay, so it's free then for Inspire and Believe, and then maybe it's a percentage off for the other 2 keys.
Maybe, yeah. But if you buy the ticket to Oogie Boogie, PhotoPass is included. So if you see a PhotoPass photographer and you want to get a cute photo of the whole group or whatever it is, or whatever you might be, it does come included with your ticket. So just know that you don't have to pay extra for that, which is really nice.
And don't make the same mistake I did. As soon as you get your wristband, when you check into the event, scan that QR code onto the Disneyland app, because if you don't, then you won't actually get any of your photos because they're not going to be giving you that like PhotoPass card or scanning your app. They're just going to be scanning your event wristband. So make sure that's the very, very first thing that you should do when you check in. Scan it, and then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the night. But definitely use the PhotoPass because it's free and you're paying for it. But use it because then there's one less thing for you to do. But and then you can download those, and you have 1 year of unlimited downloads of those photos. So that's what's really, really cool. Then also another thing that we didn't get to talk about too much is for Lightning Lane. Okay, I get asked this question a lot. You do not need Lightning Lane, nor can you use Lightning Lane during this day, during the event time. So if you've bought or purchased Lightning Lane earlier in the day for if you went to Disneyland or you went to DCA, you actually cannot use it during this event time. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, if you are traveling and you have a whole Disneyland day, you might not want to get Lightning Lane because you won't be able to use it past 6 p.m.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
Yeah. So it would be kind of a waste of money. And you don't need it because the lines are pretty short. I would say that the only attraction that has a little bit of a longer wait time is the Monsters After Dark. Would you agree with that, Nikki? Because Nikki, you've ridden that, right?
I would absolutely agree.
Okay.
Yes, I have. I love Guardians. I've taken Lindsay's kids on Guardians.
Yes, she has. Because I won't go on it.
Yes, and that ride is notoriously long, even during, I think some of the Halloween overlays tend to be a little bit longer, just because they all, roll in with the theme of the night.
Yeah. So that might be even something that you want to tackle before the event starts. Just kind of like cough it up to it being a long line and just get it over with. And, so you don't have to waste your party time, for that attraction.
Or at the very end of the evening.
Yeah, or the very, very end.
I feel like that's a good time.
And speaking of which, so one of the tips too, again, this is if your kids can last that long, but if you want to do anything, like if you're waiting till the very end of the night to do anything, you have to be in the line for whatever it is at 10:59 or earlier, because the event ends at 11. So once 11 hits, they shut it down hard. So you cannot get in line starting at 11 o'clock. So if there's something you want to like race off to go do, you want to do Villains Grove at the very end of the night, you have to be in the line 10:59 or earlier. Yes. Otherwise, you're out of luck.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, it seems like whenever I go to Oogie Boogie Bash, I always have a really good schedule of what I want to do, what I want to accomplish. And that 11 p.m. event end time creeps up on me so fast.
So fast.
It's like you're just kind of like in this like awesome Halloween world. And all of a sudden you look at your watch and you're like, wait, what? It's almost 11? Yeah. Like it goes by very, very quickly. I've spoken to a lot of families who are like, yeah, our kids, they can't stay really late. We're going to leave by like 9:30. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think you will. I don't think you will. And they all have told me that they're like, yeah, all of a sudden it was 11 p.m. So it's such a fun event. You will be using every single minute of your event time and just have the best time. I love seeing all the costumes. I think that's one of my favorite things to see because, adults normally can't dress up, during a regular Disneyland day. And some people go really, really creative with their costumes. But like we spoke about in the last episode about Oogie Boogie Bash, the first tips and tricks episode, you don't feel pressure to get dressed up, but it is so fun to see other people and like the great ideas that they come up with because some of them are really, really awesome.
Yeah. Like last year, Nikki and I, we dressed together because I know, Bridget, you were with your family. We just did like a simple like black outfit. We did the big Jack Skellington bags and like the little plushy ears. We all matched Hermie and Anne. And that was really fun too. I mean, you can get as creative or as casual as you want, really.
Yeah, and it was so cute. It was so cute. I didn't want to feel left out because I was dressed up as Sally with my family, so I bought the bag anyway. Yes. And at the end of the night, I got a photo. I'm like, wait, I want to
We
be part
still
of
got our
this
photo
too.
together. And it worked because you were Sally, we had Jack, like it all worked out.
Yeah.
Sometimes when moms have a night out, we don't want to coordinate costumes.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were like, let's just all buy the
Sometimes we're
same
just,
bag
yeah,
and have a good time.
Yeah.
that's what we did last year. Yeah.
Now, wait, speaking of costumes, though, unfortunately, Nikki won't be with us on this Oogie Boogie Bash night, but you will be with us in spirit and heart, and we will be FaceTiming you for sure.
Yes.
But-
Absolutely. It's my kids. My kids start school the next
Yeah,
morning. So,
so-
I'm like, I couldn't miss that, but I would love a FaceTime.
We will definitely be FaceTiming you. But I will say that, so we're going to be going with Anne, Anne, who's part of our Magical Moms podcast family. So we're going to be going with Anne, Lindsay, and I. And we do have a costume idea that we are going to be doing. And guess who came up with this costume idea? Chris. He's not actually on with us today, but Chris, who does all of the
Chris is our
sound
editor.
and editing, he actually came up with the idea. So we're going to be doing his.
And we're running with it.
Yes, and we'll be revealing
can't
it.
wait.
Yes.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, so we'll be there on the very, very opening night, which is August 17th, it's just crazy that it's so soon.
I know.
So soon.
And another thing I want to mention too, if you're a magic key holder and you're going to Oogie Boogie Bash, oftentimes, which correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've announced anything yet for this, but a lot of the times they have a special magic keys section for us at Oogie Boogie Bash. It is typically under the Silly Symphony swings.
Yeah.
And there's usually like a photo op and like a little giveaway. I think in the past, was that the time that we got like a little popcorn holder?
Yeah, there was a cute
thing.
little bag that had a zipper.
Yes.
And one year, was there a patch, or am I
Yeah,
dreaming
I
that
think
up?
patch or
We've got a
stickers,
patch,
or
we've
there
got a
was something.
sticker, we've got those little things. Like sometimes like those like, little freebies are there.
Yeah, so if you are a magic key holder, make sure to go check that out because it is like an extra little bonus that they do for us. That's really fun.
Yeah. And also, if Oogie Boogie Bash merch is your thing, definitely get that in the beginning of the event because that can be sold out sometimes. But also, the last couple of years, I've noticed that they were selling it a little bit before the event started. So if you are looking for that type of merchandise, ask a cast member because I'm almost positive the last 2 years they've sold it like an hour or at least before a couple hours before the event even began.
They did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, last year I think it was.
I think it was
even
all
throughout
day.
the day.
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah, available for everyone.
Yeah, because back in the day, it was like not until the actual event started, and that was a whole thing. So, so they're doing that a little bit earlier. So, if that's something that you're interested in, just ask a cast member, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction of where that merch is being sold. But Linz, we've talked a lot about the Oogie Boogie Bash, and I think we've covered most of it. But if you have any questions and you're listening out there and you have any questions, feel free to join our Patreon and then you can have exclusive access to our Facebook page where you can just ask us questions there directly. And Lindsay and I will definitely be answering. So ask your other follow-up questions there and then other people can see your questions because they may have the same questions as well. And they'll be able to see the answers too.
Yeah. Or you can send us a DM on Instagram. You can send it at Magical Moms Podcast on that handle, Bridget or I. Or if you're traveling from out of town and you need a traveling question, make sure to hit up Nikki. She will be your expert on demand.
Yes.
I'm here for you. I got your back.
Yes. Oh my goodness. This has been so much fun. I love that we all got to hang out and share our tips and our tricks. And if you are going to Oogie Boogie Bash, we hope you have so much fun. And we want to thank you so much for listening or watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, we appreciate it. We appreciate you guys so much. All of you that are part of our Patreon fam, all of you that are listeners, all of you that have come up to us and told us that you're listeners, like in the parks. That has been really, really special and still kind of like I don't know, like a pinch me moment. Like, oh my gosh, people are listening to us talk.
Just the other day when Lindsay and I got together to do the Halloween merch, right after Lindsay left, I was still there. And this woman came up to me and she's like, I love the podcast. I love listening. We spoke for a bit. I told her about, the Patreon fam. And it was just so wonderful. So thank you so much for listening. And, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And, come join us. Come join us on that Patreon fam so that we can hang out more. But,
and if you want to suggest any tips or tricks, anything we should cover, please email us at magicalmomspodcast@gmail.com, or you can always DM us on all of these socials. So subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to stay connected with us in between episodes, make sure to join the Patreon fam. The private Facebook group is like like a little hangout spot for us. We actually had one of our listeners the other day. She dropped a photo in there that was really sweet of her son riding the Incredicoaster for the first time. And it was just like a little special moment that she shared with the group. And I just really appreciated that. I thought it was so sweet. But yeah, so make sure you join. And I think until then, Bridget.
Wait. No, we got We got to get Nikki in this. We got to get Nikki in this. So Nikki, this is what you do at the very end. We're gonna say until then. We'll see you real soon, but you got to do that. You gotta join us.
We'll see you real soon.
Yeah. So you ready?
Yeah, however.
Okay. Are you ready?
So until then,
we'll see you
real soon. Oh man, that was. We tried. It's hard.
It's hard to do.
We were close. Bye-bye.